a month and get a second unlimited line free for 12 months. Call 1-844-537-2999.
Get the best deal in mobile. Switch to Spectrum.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
It's 8 o'clock. Breakfast is being served at Ellen's downtown.
I'm Carla Leal in 90. Suspended Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton spoke at a GOP Labor Day picnic in Plano, north of Dallas this weekend. His impeachment trial begins Tuesday. Paxton denies allegations against him, including bribery and misuse of official information. This week, a federal judge blocked Texas from enforcing HB 900, which would require book vendors to rate materials they sell to school libraries based on the presence of sex depictions or references. Supporters of the law say it's necessary, but book vendors say the bill is too vague. Meanwhile, the Texas Supreme Court denied a request to suspend SB 14. That's the state's new ban on gender-affirming treatment for transgender youth. Activists say it infringes on the parent rights and doctrine.
3-day forecast, a high close to 100 for Sunday with a spotty afternoon. 101 on your Labor Day with a good amount of sunshine. You'll definitely need the sunscreen. And we'll see the same forecast pretty much as we go into Tuesday, back to work and school with lots of sunshine and a high of 101. Coming up in 10 minutes, your 7-day forecast. See you then.
Hello, thank you for joining us here on Spectrum News 1. I'm Todd Boatwright. Well, as the high heat continues for another weekend, it's also affecting some Texas lakes and waterways. Water levels at Canyon Lake in central Texas have dropped to record lows. According to the San Antonio Express, the lake is around 68% full and levels are still dropping. Low water levels are also taking a toll on counties in North Texas. Michael Lozano shows us what folks there are now having to do to conserve water.
Not getting water.
This isn't what native Texan Larry Parker expected when he made the move back to the Lone Star State.
This has not been something that you'd ever really be concerned with.
The heat, sure, but it's the strict water restrictions in McClendon Chisholm that really came as a shock.
I just Googled to see what the local, government was saying.
That's because RCH Water Supply, the company who runs water in several Rockwall County communities, are in a Stage 5 alert. Their water levels are dangerously low, which means no watering landscape, no filling up pools.
When you keep on getting more people in here, then you're not going to be able to sustain the level of water that people need.
And no non-essential water use.
People are just a little frustrated and trying to figure out some kind of solution.
But change is on the way. In August, Aqua Texas agreed to buy the water system for $6 million. In a press release, RCH officials said it's needed to operate the system safely. Aqua went on to say this partnership will help protect and preserve the essential resource amid challenging conditions. Larry is hopeful.
I'm in full support of.
Spectrum News 1 is still waiting to hear back from town officials about this new deal, but the severe statewide water shortages aren't going away anytime soon.
In some of the areas,
meaning Larry will have to make do.
You're having to resod or you're having to replant, whatever you may have.
And hope the damage to his property isn't too severe.
Meanwhile, the extreme heat is also impacting methane emissions. According to Bloomberg, scientists at Carbon Mapper have identified nearly 24 methane plumes that grew during the June heat wave. Now, together, those plumes were emitting more than 79 metric tons of methane an hour. Those scientists say that's about the same global warming impact as nearly 3 years. This comes as the Texas oil and gas industry is shattering profit records, but many experts say the cost to the environment is just as great. Here's Dylan Scott with more.
To truly understand what methane flaring can do to the environment here in Texas, many climate experts say the best way to see this is from the sky.
I'll go out faster right to the middle.
It's so important for us as Texans to protect our way of life by addressing these emissions now.
A ninth-generation Tejana, Virginia Palacios of Commission Shift, knows the Eagle Ford Shale well. At 1,500 feet, thanks to a lift from EcoFlight and the Environmental Defense Fund. The executive director can do just that.
Look for the quality of the flare is a little bit of smoky marbling,
providing a bird's eye briefing of the ongoing massive risk-reward conversation.
There's another flare at 3 o'clock.
Because it's so powerful the moment that it's emitted, and because we know that we can, really important place to reduce emissions so that we can avoid these catastrophic warming impacts.
As far as the eye can see on this South Texas horizon, oil and gas wells are flaring, creating a byproduct called methane, a precursor to air pollutants. Climate experts say the odorless gas produces 80 times more pollutants than carbon dioxide would in the next 20 years, resulting in billions of dollars in environmental, economic, and health concerns yearly.
Makes it all more real. It's easy to see what the scientists have been talking about and to see what exactly it is that's occurring right in our backyard.
Back on the ground, Commission Shift and the EDF are nonprofits using this data to push reform for the oil and gas industries, with activists such as Palacios and Elizabeth Lieberknecht calling on the Environmental Protection Agency and Railroad Commission
to those standards so that we can level the playing field and ensure that these critical emissions reductions are happening across the industry, not just from the operators who make voluntary commitments to reduce these emissions.
96% of the products that we use on a daily basis has a part of its basic building block, oil or natural gas. And I'm talking about things like makeups to medicines, from tires to toothpaste.
A balance within the boom, thanks to advancements in filtering, monitoring systems, drones, leak detection, and repair. Todd Staples, president of the Texas Oil and Gas Association, says the state hopes to end routine flaring by 2030. According to the World Bank and Energy Information Administration, such practices decreased by almost 10% nationally from 2021 to 22, the largest reduction in a decade, and a possible olive branch for the future.
Taking care of our environment, citizens have a responsible role to play, and we're glad that no nation is doing more than the United States, and no industry is literally doing more than oil and natural gas to make progress here.
If Texas were a nation, it would rank among the largest polluters in the world. And while some progress has been made, Palacios says the environmental clock is ticking.
If we could reduce methane today, we would see benefits in terms of our climate within the next 2 decades.
And coming up, meet a woman who gave up a career to open her own business. We'll show you what happens when she brings a little bit of Germany to Texas. Keep it here.
Here to the largest population of immigrants in the world. On the next In Focus Texas, we'll hear from experts and organizations advocating for those seeking freedom in America. You don't want to miss it, so join us Sunday or set your DVR for all the details. I'll see you then.
Stay connected to Spectrum News 1 with the Spectrum News app. Stream your trusted team live on the go or from home. And stay updated on the local news and weather forecasts that matter to you. Spectrum News, your community connection. Weather can be beautiful and at times powerful. Our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. Weather on the Ones on Spectrum News.
At Spectrum, we know how much you depend on the reliability of our products and services. Now, we've taken a new step forward in reliability by identifying potential service issues before they become a problem. If you're affected, we'll contact you and help schedule a free service appointment with one of our expert technicians. The proactive maintenance of our network is one of the many reasons Spectrum delivers the most reliable internet speeds in the nation. Spectrum, keeping you connected.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Place in both my heart and my family's heart as well. My dad started in the news business in 1955, so my dad was my idol. He was my mentor. I spent so much time in that world. I knew I just had to be a part of it. My life's purpose has been about informing, educating, and most importantly, connecting with people. It has been my passion to help people and make a difference in people's lives. I'm Brett Shipp, anchor, Spectrum News 1.
Hey everybody, Jake Parrish here with your weather forecast. Saturday morning in Fort Worth, lots of sunshine, some high clouds out at the Texas Motor Speedway. It was a really pretty start to our long holiday weekend. Be the case for most of the weekend. Maybe an isolated shower thunderstorm coming up Sunday afternoon. More on that in just a sec. Fire danger forecast. This isn't a big surprise with the trend of our weather, dry, hot. So that's on the high to very high side. Be very careful out there for the remainder of the weekend. Now, as we look ahead to Sunday morning on our Futurecast, it's quiet, but notice as we head into the second half of the day, a little area of low pressure will try to give us a little bit more lift in the atmosphere, and that could spark off maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. You can see here the second half of our Sunday. This is Sunday at 3:30. So just keep that in mind. You know, we'll take it, obviously. Notice as we head towards the overnight, most of that activity tries to die out, maybe an isolated shower or two early on our Monday, on our Labor Day, north and east. And then as that energy kind of shifts away, it'll be quiet and just warm and dry for the second half of Labor Day. But I think even those showers Sunday morning will be. Rainfall, as we take a look at the computer data for the next week or so, again, very, very light over a lot of North Texas, maybe a little bit higher as you head to the east, especially down towards the coast. And as we look a little bit farther ahead towards the middle of September, temperature-wise, it looks like temperatures will remain above average. All right, as we take a look at our highs for our Sunday afternoon, 99 in Dallas, around 100 in Fort Worth, and on the extended, again, a slight chance of a shower thunderstorm Sunday afternoon, dry and hot on Labor Day, 101. Temperatures starting to warm up a little bit the second half of the work week.
With the current housing market, many Texans are being left to deal with pricey homes, low inventory, and those high interest rates. But despite the odds, some have been still able to find a place to call home. Here's our Michael Lozano with more.
Homes remain a hot commodity in the Lone Star State, and the city of Denton is no exception to that. They tell me it was a long journey to get here, but they're happy that they can finally call this place their home.
It's all still a little surreal.
Yeah, it's been fun getting to think about like decor and wall colors and that kind of thing.
But after years of waiting, Charles and Mariah Knowles are finally Denton homeowners.
During COVID, and obviously that was an insanely competitive cash market.
While bidding cooled down in 2023, the Knowles still had to navigate a 7% interest rate and low inventory, meaning homes averaging nearly $390,000 in Denton County.
2 years ago, it was $250. You know, I mean, it's exponentially raised.
Denton realtor Megan Bradshaw says these high prices remain the standard across the state. North Texas Real Estate Information System's latest data shows the average homes in Dallas County go for $527,000, while Travis County home $36K.
Knowing that the Fed said that inflation is still too high does not give me any good indicators that things are going to go down.
For Texans looking to buy a home, Megan says the reality is it's not easy now and won't be easy later.
Unfortunately, a lot of people who are choosing to wait over the next few years are going to be in the same place that my buyers 2 years ago are now.
Megan suggests saving up for a significant deposit, working on your credit, and finding a reliable realtor who can help you through the whole process.
If you want it, you need to be competitive.
I'm pretty sure we put an offer in on this house within a couple hours of seeing it.
Yeah.
For Charles and Mariah,
We went to the fair on Saturday.
the stress of house hunting is finally over.
The wall so that it kind of centers the table with it.
Now it's about planting roots and making this their home.
And a new report shows Texas is home to more native-born residents than any other state. According to the Texas Tribune, factors like state culture, housing affairs could be why Texans are sticking around. And that's also bringing more people to Texas, with some even opening their own business. One woman quit her day job to follow her dream, and even a major setback isn't slowing her down.
Lisa Clover turned her love of baking into a business. Her dream got her here. Her determination keeps her here. Lisa works in the corporate world.
It was all paperwork and bureaucracy, and that was frustrating. And I think that happens a lot in large corporations. And I just thought, well, why not try something different?
What she tried was a childhood favorite that took her right back to her German roots.
And I thought, well, a pretzel business would be really fun, and it incorporates my heritage too, so it kind of makes sense to do that.
Since then, Lisa's perfected every twist, dip, and topping you can imagine. Her pretzels are the real deal, made by hand the German way.
Because they have the skinny arms and the fat bellies. So you get the crunchy arms and the soft bellies.
Hence the name of her business, Fat Belly Pretzels. Lisa's plans, though, to build her own big company took a turn a few years ago.
I got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, Graves' disease, and so I really had to slow down and concentrate on my health, and I had to pull back on the business, and that's kind of where I am now.
But that's where her determination comes in. She's not giving in, and she's not giving up. Her goals are still as fresh as the pans of pretzels she makes. Lisa says she is a perfectionist, even when the twists and turns don't go her way.
Oh, that was awful. We'll redo that.
In her health, so plans to build her business are still on the list. In the meantime, she does what she can, giving back one pretzel at a time.
Everyone loves pretzels, and they're so much fun. People just smile when you give them a pretzel or you say, "I'm the pretzel lady." They're always happy to see you, and I just enjoy it.
And those pretzels are good. Up next, it's week 2 of Texas high school football. Our sports team will look at some of the biggest games from across the state after the break.
Highs for the rest of your holiday weekend, generally 100 or better each afternoon. The exception, Corpus, temperatures in the 90s and upper 90s in the El Paso area. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm as you head into the Dallas area on Sunday afternoon. Fall for the next week, it looks pretty slim. The best opportunity for picking up some scattered showers and thunderstorms, extreme East Texas and then off into Louisiana.
$16 teams, 15 grand. One tournament to decide who knows the most about separating news fact from news fiction. 1, 2, 3, that is correct, Jacob. The Spectrum News Challenge Tournament.
That sounds really awesome, man.
If you think you know the news, then it's time to take the challenge. Spectrum News Challenge, Wednesday nights at 8:30. Available on all your favorite devices.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
our back and forth, it always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
We have one mission, and that is to serve our community.
We have reporters on the ground sharing what's happening within their...
To know the issues here in Texas, but also, more importantly, to know who it affects.
We want to make sure that you know what's going on in politics and weather and entertainment. You're going to get your local news. You're going to get storytelling about your local community. Your evening on Spectrum News 1. Weeknights starting at 5 p.m. Central.
That's right, here in Dallas, Texas. The game was everything it was hyped up to be and more between two talented offenses of Louisville and Highland Park. Highlander Stadium, one of the best high school football venues in all of Texas. Scotty's getting ready to defend home turf. Byron Ellison and the Fighting Farmers getting ready to lay down the hammer. So here we go, second quarter. Friend of the show and senior running back Byron Ellison says enough is enough. Time to get on the board, so he cuts it inside, which cashes in for 6. Byron taking those talents to Tulsa next year, y'all. Louisville cuts the deficit to 4. Minutes before halftime, Randy Allen gambles on 4th and 3 from the 33. Warren Peck options it to Keller Holmes. He breaks loose for the touchdown. Scotties enter halftime up 21-10. But then we fast forward to the 4th. Scotties have a chance to ice this thing. It's 4th and goal at the 1. Warren Peck fakes the QB draw and floats. Now Louisville needs a Hail Mary here. Final play, Ethan Terrell heaves it deep, but it's swatted away and the Scotties escape with a 3-point dub at home.
Were you holding your breath on the last play, and what was your reaction when you saw it swatted down?
Oh, I was freaking out. I thought he was going to be wide open. They covered it really well.
We found a way to gut it out and win it the hard way because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and you know they held us on the 1, and then our defense had to hold them on that last drive. So they've got a great team. We're happy that we're 2-0. We're looking forward to starting district next week.
So absolute thriller here in Dallas, and no one is more excited than head coach Randy Allen. But that's going to do it here at Highlander Stadium. Let's send it out to Vic with more action.
Robbie, imagine you make it to the playoffs. Your team is the last thing you remember celebrating the end of your season. That's the case with the Cibolo Steel Knights visiting Lake Travis. Still hoping to avenge last season's walk-off loss, the Cavs would have other thoughts. Neon night at Cavs Stadium, it was also Leon night. Caden Leon fakes to Nico Hamilton, breaks free, cruising for the tutty to make it 10-0 for the Cavs. It felt like Lake Travis could break it open early, then the Knights would sustain a drive, like on this big 3rd down in the 1st. Chad Warner buys some time and drops it into wideout Jalen Cooper. He gets up, fired up, ready to go, but then the Cavs D would hold up, like here on this field goal, to leave Steele with a big old goose egg at the end of the 1st quarter. The Cavs D would only give up a touchdown all night. Steele kept it close enough to keep it interesting, but Lake Travis did just enough.
I love that we're showing grit. I mean, that's what it takes to be a championship caliber football team. We play physical tonight in all phases. Steele has a great program, and they've got a lot of good players, and they made some plays tonight, so they were never out of it, obviously. There were some plays in the 1st half we'd love to get back. We had a miscommunication on interception that we threw offensively, but I'm proud of our kids. It was awesome. It was a great win in front of a huge crowd. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and again, they believe in one another, and we got some great kids, and so we just need to keep it going. Thank God for football, of course.
Lake Travis goes to 2-1 over the past 2 seasons against Steele. The Cavs begin district play next week with Buda Johnson coming to town. What's good, Adam?
Hey, thanks there, Victor. Another Austin versus San Antonio matchup tonight with Westlake hosting Judson. The Chaps set the tone in this one right from the opening kick. A huge forced fumble by the kickoff team, and get this to start the game. Westlake's offense cashes in for 6 off the turnover. Paxton Land rolling out, finding Cal Livingood, and he is doing just that across the goal line. The host leads 7-0 after 1. Same score in the second, Paxton Land again. This time he finds running back Jack Kaiser up the seam for the tutty. Westlake doubling its lead to 14. And then right before the half, it's Spencer Barnett. Now, you might have heard about his 59-yard field goal in Westlake's win over Ridgepoint in week 1. He drills the 37-yarder tonight, and that's all the Westlake defense would need. The Chaps suffocated the Rockets' offense all night long. Here's Cullen Devine with a third-quarter sack. Still in the third. Check out this ridiculous grab by Brody Wilhelm. Basically tips it to himself, stays in bounds, and dives into the end zone. Take a look at it again. The tip, the gather, just an unreal play by the Westlake junior receiver. And then it's Kaiser again for good measure. Another touchdown, something to keep an eye on for Westlake going forward. Chaps move to 2-0, rolling over Judson, 47-0.
Defense played lights out. Best defense in the state. Always going to be. Coach Salazar's a coach. Great win, great team win, I think. I mean, a lot of people stepped up, had a quarterback step up, had some O-linemen step up, had Nathan Acosta, running back, step up. But, I mean, I think the best part is we have so much more to do, so much more to improve on, and I think we know that. So this isn't our Final Four.
That'll do it for our coverage in Week 2. We will see you right back here next Friday for more of the marquee games across the state of
thriving community is an informed community, and being able to play a role in bringing people the news is something that I take very seriously. There's just so many things to love about the state of Texas. Southern hospitality, great food. I love that there are so many different cultures celebrated. I want people to turn us on in the morning and feel like they've got the information they need to go out and conquer their day. I'm Alex Stockwell, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
Spectrum Mobile is giving you one free mobile line when you buy one unlimited line for $29.99.
So I can get 2 lines for the price of 1?
That's right, for just $29.99. It's the best deal in mobile.
But is the service reliable?
Absolutely. Spectrum Mobile is super line for $29.99, and the second line is free.
All with no taxes or hidden fees.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 a month and get a second unlimited line free for 12 months. Call 1-844-882-2999.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are connected, engaged, from the moment we rise. We move. We adjust, explore, relax, and grow together so we're ready to build a better tomorrow. Stay informed throughout your day with the Spectrum News app, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
Weather on the Ones, every 10 minutes. Also available on the Spectrum News app.
Hello, Dallas-Fort Worth. Here's your Spectrum News in 90. Low water levels revealed dinosaur footprints in a dried-up riverbed in Glen Rose, about 80 miles southwest of Dallas. Researchers have identified 75 new dinosaur tracks, and last month, wrecked ships from World War I were discovered in East Texas. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick says he won't. Tribune reports Patrick already attracted controversy for accepting $3 million from a pro-Paxton group in June. Texas ethics law allows state politicians to accept unlimited campaign contributions with little oversight. And the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department is urging Texans to take precautions to avoid starting wildfires this dove hunting season.
Scattered clouds overnight. As we look ahead to our Sunday morning, temperatures will be dropping into the upper 70s briefly and then warming into the 80s and eventually getting close to 100 degrees again on our Sunday afternoon with just a slight opportunity for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Now coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll have a good look at your 7-day forecast, which includes the Labor Day holiday on Monday and that
Lawmakers passed more than 700 bills this year, but a proposal allowing more money for child care didn't make the cut. It would have boosted child care funding by $2 billion, but it was ultimately left out of the final state budget. Well, since 2020, Texas child care providers have received more than $4 billion in federal COVID-related funds, but many providers say that money is starting to now run out. And with funds running out, many child care programs have no other choice but to shut down. Our Blessing Iwachuku shows us what this now means for some Texas families.
During the pandemic, the federal government threw a lifeline to child care centers to help keep them afloat. But what happens when that funding wraps up?
Adriana Peña is getting dinner ready for her family with a tiny little helper by her side.
Her name is Mia Louise. She'll be 3 in December.
She keeps this working mom busy to do what she loves after her daughter's San Antonio Child Care Center shared some unsettling news.
Yeah, I read the email and I told her, I was like, well, get this. They just shut the daycare down.
It got sent out 7:30 and it told us that August 4th was going to be the last day. Very little time to look for a new school, pretty much.
Her daughter had just enrolled in January, so only 6 months had passed.
There in the email it states that COVID and hard times, and she just can't accommodate everything basically that she has to pay in order to keep the facility running.
And this is a facility that has been up and running since 2016, according to the former director. She told me their center also received funding from the government during the pandemic to help stay afloat. This year, those extra funds come to an end.
Our child care system is going to be in a very fragile state as child care programs across the state of Texas use up the remaining child care relief funds that they have.
Cody Somerville is the executive director of the Membership Association for Early Childhood Professionals. He says what happened to Adriana's former child care center is not a surprise.
There's a good chance that many child care programs will close. Here in Texas, we already have 1,600 less child care programs operating today than we did before the pandemic started.
His organization just wrapped up a statewide survey on the impact of the end of the child care relief funding. Preliminary analysis shows out of the more than 2,100 people who responded, 65% say they would have closed without the government funds, while 26% they are likely or very likely to close without additional funding.
Couldn't sleep that night. It was Sunday night and I was ready for bed and I just was thinking of where am I going to take her after Friday. So it was definitely stressed me out for a week, I'd say, calling and touring different facilities and making sure they have space for her available to start that Monday because I didn't want a gap in coverage. So yeah.
Those nerves have eased since then. Adriana was able to find another child care center for her daughter, and she hopes its doors will be able to stay open.
And here's a look at just how much child care is costing some Texans. According to the Labor Department, Dallas parents are paying one of the highest rates, with more than 12% of their income going to child care. Bexar, Harris, and Tarrant counties all coming at just over 11%. And in Travis County, parents are spending around 10% of their income on child care. Well, the city of Fort Worth says it'll transform a college dorm into affordable housing. The city council is requesting $11 million to buy the land from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary and to remodel the property. In the coming weeks, Fort Worth will also vote on a new neighborhood conservation plan and strategy. Cash grant programs are also starting to pop up in major Texas metros to help with housing costs. The capital city is finishing up a pilot run helping more than 100 families there in need. Our Dylan Scott has more on that.
Sometimes families struggling to make ends meet just need a little boost, and the Family Stabilization Grant through the City of Austin has provided just that.
It is important, and every dollar does help. It helps families to stay afloat.
Taniqua Brewster has found that financial lifeline, and the Austin native and mother of 5 is speaking out at places like City Hall.
It just helps us to feel secure in a city that's prices are rising, rent assistance is needed.
To help our community find similar solid ground.
We didn't go through those periods of maybe my children are not going to eat, or maybe I can't afford the rent. That extra income really helped me. It gave me that time.
For the past year, spearheaded by nonprofit group Up Together and the City of Austin, provided $1,000 in monthly support to dozens of Central Texas families in need.
Everyone's kind of just getting by. There's so many families living paycheck to paycheck.
Ivana Neary, Senior Director of Partnerships, believes the assistance goes a long way in many underserved communities.
Really a call to action for government and philanthropy to start thinking about these direct investments and the impact that it has as people get to not only be more financially stable, but they also see some improvements in education, financial health, mental health, health as a whole.
The Kickstarter has gone so well, Austin City Council has allocated $1.3 million in their new budget for a second round of family stabilization grants in the coming months.
But you know that saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure?
With 1 in 5 families qualifying as low income, according to the United Way, Council member Vanessa Fuentes says this budget amendment is a necessity.
We are in an affordability crisis. We hear often from families who've been priced out and are no longer able to live in the city. So by having this program available to help Austinites who need it the most, we really are ensuring the stability and prosperity of our families.
The Fresh Start also allowed Brewster to get into a leasing agent program so she can help other underserved families settle on the east side, sharing her knowledge of how the city can give back to some of its longest tenured residents.
I'd like for those families to be able to do the things that I was able to do, or even more, help them to alleviate some of the stress of living in a community that's really expensive.
And still to come, vaping is a big concern for Texas school districts as students return to the classroom. We'll see what some leaders are doing about it after the break.
I am most satisfied when I'm making a difference. I get to go to work every day and communicate with fellow Texans who understand that quality of life matters and the choices we make matter. And if they can trust me to share important information with them, then I'm a happy camper. I'm Dr. Nicole Cross, anchor for Spectrum News 1.
From coast to coast, you've seen us around. We live and work in the communities we serve. Our commitment runs deep. We're invested here, creating good jobs and supporting small businesses, many of which we're proud to call customers. You count on us to keep you connected to what matters most. And we're committed to delivering you the best internet, TV, and from connecting the places we all call home.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
Weather can be beautiful, inconvenient, and at times powerful, and it affects everything we do. At Spectrum News 1, our weather experts update you with the information and the context you need so you can better plan your day. And we do it every 10 minutes. We're the calm in the storm. Weather on the Ones on time on the Spectrum News app.
Hey everybody, Jake Parrish here with your weather forecast. Saturday morning in Fort Worth, lots of sunshine, some high clouds out at the Texas Motor Speedway. It was a really pretty start to our long holiday weekend. Lots of sunshine. That's going to be the case for most of the weekend. Maybe an isolated shower thunderstorm coming up Sunday afternoon. More on that in just a sec. Fire danger forecast. This isn't a big surprise with the trend of our weather, dry, hot. So that's on the high to very high side. Be very careful out there for the remainder of the weekend. Now, as we look ahead to Sunday morning, into the second half of the day, a little area of low pressure will try to give us a little bit more lift in the atmosphere, and that could spark off maybe an isolated shower or thunderstorm. You can see here the second half of our Sunday. This is Sunday at 3:30. So just keep that in mind. You know, we'll take it, obviously. Notice as we head towards the overnight, most of that activity tries to die out, maybe an isolated shower or two early on our Monday, on our Labor Day, north and east. And then as that energy kind of shifts away, it'll be quiet and just warm and dry for the second half of Labor Day. But I think even those showers Sunday morning will be few and far between. And then the potential rainfall, as we take a look at the computer data for the next week or so, again, very, very light over a lot of North Texas, maybe a little bit higher as you head to the east, especially down towards the coast. And as we look a little bit farther ahead towards the middle of September, temperature-wise, it looks like temperatures will remain above average. All right, as we take it in Fort Worth and on the extended, again, a slight chance of a shower thunderstorm Sunday afternoon, dry and hot on Labor Day, 101. Temperatures starting to warm up a little bit the second half of the work week.
Well, a ban on diversity, equity, and inclusion offices is set to go into effect in January, meaning state universities and colleges must dissolve those offices by the end of the year. Our Marco Lozano shows us how the University of North Texas is handling the change.
I worry now that there's no hope for the next generation.
It's a fear anthropology professor Mariela Nunez-Janes says stems from the new state law that's doing away with diversity, equity, and inclusion offices at public institutions.
The university through this entire process has been completely...
It was a time when Latino representation was sorely lacking at every level.
That was a center that was created as a result of student demands.
She's talking about the Multicultural Center. In a letter to students and faculty, UNT announced that very office will dissolve in October to abide under the new state law that goes into effect in January, an institution where minority groups make up nearly half of the student body.
They might be enrolled, but can they thrive at the university more than just survive?
Faculty like Nunez-Janes and Deb Armenter aren't happy with how quickly this decision was made.
What's the barest minimum we can do to follow this law while still protecting students?
Spectrum News 1 reached out to other major public universities to see where they're at in this process. So far, we still haven't heard back from the UT system, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech. Supporters of the law say admission should be based on merit, not race, arguing that education, but those opposed say it could lead to discrimination.
University is going above and beyond the bare minimum.
Nunez-Janes isn't sure how this new law will fully impact the student body.
I really worry about what's going to happen.
All public university faculty and students can do is wait and see.
Meanwhile, K through 12 school districts are working to keep kids healthy this school year, and that includes new technology to prevent students from vaping on campus. Amber Hughes explains.
Never would have dreamed I would be back here in this capacity.
From Northside ISD student to Northside ISD police chief, Charlie Carnes has been with the department 30 years.
They're all fed into the dispatch office here.
From dispatch, his team monitors thousands of campus cameras. But in San Antonio's largest school district, teenagers in middle and high school are using e-cigarettes. Surprisingly, they've also been found on elementary campuses.
We have parents that come to us and they bring us a vape pen. They have no knowledge as to what it is.
Although marijuana has always been around, Carnes says vapes can conceal the smell. So the department plans to test out vaping sensors in school restrooms.
2 years ago, we averaged about 40 cases a month to include nicotine and THC. And now we see approaching 300 cases a month.
Last session, lawmakers passed House Bill 114, which could land students in alternative school for possession of e-cigarettes.
Our parents need to be educated, as well as our students need to be educated on the seriousness of it, not just the health complications, but the legal complications.
In Texas, having a THC vape pen is a felony.
I think they're more harmful than your...
Prey is the Washington State Director of the National Association of School Nurses. She says the concentration of nicotine in e-cigs is much higher than traditional cigarettes.
These e-cigarettes are affecting brain development, they're affecting lungs.
As the school year starts, Liz says it's important for parents to have the tough conversation with their kids, also eliminating their access to vape products at home.
It's very easy to pick up one of these vape pens and sneak it outside or sneak it to school and use it yourself.
A recent CDC study shows from 2020 to 2022, U.S. e-cigarette sales increased by 47%. To help stop this crisis, health advocates want the FDA to take flavored e-cigs off the market.
Students, they get peer pressured into vaping. They need the support of their family and loved ones not to vape.
One Texan who's taking fishing and more to the next level, how he's helping folks venture into the great outdoors and how you can take part. Stay with us.
Highs for the rest of your holiday weekend, generally 100 or better each afternoon. The exception, Corpus, temperatures in the 90s and upper 90s in the El Paso area. Slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm as you head into the Dallas area on Sunday afternoon. And as far as potential rainfall for the next week, it looks pretty slim. The best opportunity for picking up some scattered showers and thunderstorms, extreme East Texas and then off into Louisiana.
Every Sunday, join host Carla Leal on In Focus Texas. Education, economy, immigration, and more. Balanced and respectful discussion of the serious matters impacting Texas from experts across the state.
We take a closer look at the issues in your community.
In Focus Texas, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Spectrum News 1. Available on all your favorite devices.
So you're telling me this one-size-fits-all network upgrade is the best you guys can do?
Better than that. It's the only thing we do.
That's how we know it's right for you.
Aye, aye, aye.
Is that what I said?
No, I think you were okay. I think that's a yes.
We get it. Ask for the technology you need, and they call you unreasonable. We call you something else, our kind of client. So go ahead, be
Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
Little everyday conversations about the dangers of underage drinking can make a big difference in a child's life.
Today at Zilker Park, where folks from across the state of Texas are coming together for this.
At Spectrum News, we're committed to our communities around the clock, delivering stories that inspire and news that matters in your community. Our Our journalists are dedicated to bringing you trusted, balanced local news every day. And now, Spectrum Internet-only customers, you can watch Spectrum News 1 on your TV, connecting you to your community 24/7. Spectrum News, now streaming, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
Nearly 2 million kids in Texas don't know where their next meal will come from, and for many of them, the only meal they get is at school, but not every family can afford it. JJ Maldonado shows us two brothers in Central Texas stepping in to help.
So this setup is usually what we use whenever we go to events or we go to spirit nights or whatever. We have our banner that, you know, just kind of advertises, you know, who we are.
Brothers John and Max Amador and sprang into action. The teens have been raising money to combat student lunch debt.
That's usually our main goal, is, you know, spreading awareness about this and, you know, letting people know that this need does exist and there is some way to help that cause.
Through their nonprofit organization P Food Fairness, they are able to pay off lunch debt owed by students since last school year.
Total, we've raised about $20,000, and I'd say our most impressive milestone, our most impactful, has been the $12,000 we gave to the district in order to take care of all free and reduced lunch debt across the entire district, across all of PFISD, every school.
Pflugerville ISD says lunch debt racked up last year topped $180,000.
By the time the school year ended, and we owed about $120,000 in that lunch debt. It had come down about $60,000, and so we did pay that off. And the school year started last week, and we started back.
According to Education Data Initiative, school meal debt in the state of Texas is about $300 million. There are districts across the state who qualify as a whole for free and reduced lunches by meeting qualifications under the Community Eligibility Provision known as CEP. Abilene ISD is one of those districts. They say in a statement to Spectrum News 1, quote, the CEP enables schools to offer meals to children at no charge and eliminates the collection of meal applications for free, reduced price, and paid student meals. This new approach reduces burdens for AISD families and school leaders while helping students to receive nutritious meals so they can be their best in the classroom and beyond. John and Max say they've seen students not able to afford meals and the humiliation they felt afterwards. They say their goal moving forward for P Food Fairness is to make sure no student has to choose between hunger and humiliation.
So we've made progress, but, you know, there's definitely room for more progress that we can make.
With Labor Day weekend here, why not get outside and do some fishing and more? Here with us today is Texas native Jonathan Newar, co-founder of Captain Experiences. It's an online platform to get more people out in the fresh air. Appreciate you being with us, Jonathan.
Thanks, Todd. Good to be here.
Who wouldn't want to do that? That's you in that boat, right?
That's exactly right. It's a fun time.
So how did your business start?
Yeah, so the story is I was working in Houston, my hometown, in oil and gas finance when the company I was working for sold. Yeah. I said, hey guys, we always talk about it. Let's finally book that fishing trip. They said, great job, Jonathan. You just nominated yourself to book us all a trip. So I said, okay, you're on. How hard can it be? Grew up fishing, but didn't know guides on a first name basis. So I just Googled it. I Googled Galveston fishing charters. And it was that slap in the face, you know, that founder moment where I said, hey, if you can book an Airbnb or call an Uber, what's wrong with fishing?
Yeah.
So yeah, here we are.
So that's great. And also you guys work with fishing guides, that kind of thing. How do you guys help with that?
Yeah, so, you know, going back to my experience, I was playing phone tag with guides, you know, trying to say, hey, how many people can each guide take? What are the target species? What's the price? What does the boat look like? And our site, you know, automates all of that. So you can go on the site. The experience is search it, book it, live it, as we like to say. So you can search by location, group size, target species, price, read reviews, and book right there on the spot.
Nice. And what you guys do besides fishing, you do shark hunting? Tell me about that. How does that work?
Yeah, so we've got some shark fishing trips, you know, down on the coast and offshore, you know, in Texas and beyond. But yeah, those are really fun. You can get the whole family out there on the beach, you know, Aransas Pass and Port A. and catch, monster 6-foot sharks.
So with that in mind, though, like me, I'm not experienced in that. I've never done that. Can anybody do this?
Yeah. So we cater to beginners and experts alike, and that's the beauty of going out with a guide is, if you're a beginner, they'll teach you how to cast and how to, catch fish, and then further down the line.
And they know where the best fishing spots are, right?
Yep.
You're not going to sit there for hours on end and not get a catch,
Yeah. And most likely, our guides are going to put you on fish. They're going to give you the best shot. Yeah.
That's great. So you've had your company now for 4 years?
Yeah, that's right.
How is it growing? Do you see more people getting involved in this kind of thing, want to get outside, want to get out of the house?
Right. Yeah, so we launched in March of 2020, and that was a pretty tricky time, with lockdowns and everything. But, post-COVID, people have been getting outdoors more and more, and so, we've been growing pretty steadily here, so it's been really fun to see.
That's amazing. Yeah. People can go on your website as well.
Yep.
To get more information. You can find out more. You've got hunting expeditions, all kinds of fishing, that kind of thing. So check out their website for more. We want to thank you for watching Spectrum News 1. Go out there and catch something. And we'll see you again soon. That's great.
The decisions elected officials make really have an impact on all of us. A big part of what we do on Capitol Tonight is break down the issues so that they're easily understood. We want to bring you a better understanding and the local impact of national issues with relevant, in-depth conversations that provide context for Texans in a balanced and informative way. Capitol Tonight, weeknights at 7 on Spectrum News 1.
They say the best things in life are free.
That's why Spectrum Mobile is giving you one free mobile line when you buy one unlimited line for $29.99.
Hey, so I can get 2 lines for the price of one? That's right, for just $29.99.
Switch to Spectrum Mobile Unlimited for $29.99 a month and get a second unlimited line free for 12 months with no contracts. Call 1-844-537-2999. Visit spectrum.com/getconnected or Spectrum Store today.
It's the best deal in mobile.
Free mobile sounds good, but is the service reliable?
Absolutely. Spectrum Mobile is super reliable, coast to coast.
Okay, but what's the catch?
Is it contracts?
No contracts, no catch.
Get one line for $29.99.
No taxes or hidden fees.
Whew. Man, I'm switching to Spectrum. You see?